Alright, we're out here with V1.0 of Callisto. Let me just do a quick control check. I just plugged everything in. Yep, everything's working correctly. You can see here the battery is very temporarily mounted and it's only half capacity at the moment because I don't want to overload this thing on the Maiden. But I just secured it with a couple pieces of tape. There's already Velcro in there for later, but that's for the full set of batteries. So let's get it in the air. Alright, I gotta be real careful when launching this thing because it's a pusher prop and I have a slight tailwind. So I'll try to launch it roughly this way. It's probably going to give me the best bet. I can pick up some grass here to tell the direction. Yeah, it's going to be basically straight that way for the wind. Wait for a lack of a gust, and then I'll hit it. Ooh, bit of a squirrely launch, but seems to be working. It'll definitely end up flying pretty heavy with the full set of batteries. Ooh, it's real nose heavy at the moment. Didn't really expect just 2 batteries to give it that much weight on the front. Luckily though, it's manageable. Since it's within a pretty manageable trim range, I think I'm just going to keep it up for the full endurance test. Cruising at about 50% throttle right now, which is a good range for this many batteries. Currently I have on board 8,000 milliamp hours of 3S battery pack. It is looking a little wobbly on the roll axis, which I guess is to be expected because those control horns that I used on the ailerons were slightly too wide of a bore for the control wire. So it's going to end up oscillating a little bit. It's not going fast enough to really cause fluttering issues though. It's also good to see that the wing mechanism is holding up, because that's entirely 3D printed. It's carrying basically all of the weight. One thing I didn't test with this on the ground is how many milliamp hours it uses per second, just with static thrust. So I won't actually be able to get a good estimate of how long this endurance flight is going to take, which is why I did it with so few batteries. Oh, in addition to the weight savings. Controls very nicely. hair is getting in the way of my vision a bit though. Alright, let's go ahead and bring it up a little bit. And then try out the rudder. Oh yeah, that works. Barely any induced roll. I had to correct with maybe about 5% of roll input. Not sure how much of that scratchy prop noise is from unbalanced center of mass or just from being so close to the tail fins. I'm gonna have to investigate that for sure. It's probably a huge efficiency loss. I think I can safely say after this long in flight that there's not any overheating issues, which is good. I've got a 60 amp ESC in there, so it's about twice as large as it really needs to be. So that shouldn't be a problem. The main issue is just the motor. Huh, that's odd. I can hear the servos oscillating. Oh, that's not good. That means I have a bad connection on my ailerons. I might have to bring this down before I lose aileron control. Let me check that out. At the very least, I can compare battery time if I can't get it back up in the air. Oh, bit fast on short final. Come on. Oh, and of course, slight too much pitch input. Man, was that really all it took? Oh, well, I suppose it wasn't actually the brace that broke. That was the failure point right there. Looks like I need a 3D printed section to connect to the fuselage as well then. But everything survived that because it wasn't actually that high of an energy impact. Now let me get this thing out of the grass. Okay. So what happened was these little connector pieces that hold on to the shaft collars basically just ripped straight out of these holes because I used CA here instead of hot glue, and because the CA didn't really adhere all that well to the paper, which I should have known it would, just ended up popping right out. Although one of these did bend, which is a sign that I'm definitely going to have to replace it with the metal ones. Okay, how are these batteries doing? Not hot at all. And the motor, decently toasty. Seems like it's about 50 degrees Celsius, something like that, which isn't great. Might have to keep my throttle low just to ensure this thing doesn't end up coming out of the sky accidentally. Look at that, good as new. Let's see. Battery number 1. 11.9. 3.95. That wasn't really that much at all. 11.9 again. 3.95, yep. Both only used about half to storage capacity of their power.